Believe it or not, there is some movement on what's expected to be the longest government shutdown ever. That's one of your top DC daily headlines for November the 4th. Day 35 of the government shutdown, now tied for the longest shutdown ever. For the first time, a small group of lawmakers from both sides of the aisle have a public proposal to temporarily extend health care subsidies. But that deal would need approval from the Senate and the House, which has been on recess break for nearly 7 weeks. If lawmakers finally pass the current deal on the table, it would only reopen the government for less than 3 weeks. SNAP benefits will be paid for November, but the White House will only pay half of what recipients normally get. 2 federal judges ruled the Trump administration must use the SNAP contingency fund to pay the benefits, but the fund only has about half of what is needed for the month of November. The White House says using the contingency fund means new SNAP applicants certified in November cannot be paid, and there will no longer be money available for a disaster like a hurricane. Now, depending on each state's system, payments could be loaded onto EBT cards as early as Wednesday, but could also be delayed by weeks or even months. It is election day across the country. There are high-profile governor's races in Virginia and New Jersey. In California, there is a vote that would temporarily redistrict the state to give Democrats more of an advantage in response to Texas's redrawing of district maps that gave the Republicans a favor in several districts. In New York, there is a mayoral race for the city that is getting national attention as well, with Democratic challenger Zohran Mamdani facing off against independent Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Sliwa. President Trump has endorsed Cuomo and has threatened to pull federal funding from the city if Mamdani wins. The White House says it does not need congressional approval to take lethal military strikes against alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean and the Eastern Pacific. The administration says the strikes don't rise to the level of hostilities that do require congressional authorization under the War Powers Resolution. Officials say that would only apply if U.S. military personnel were put in harm's way. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have questioned the strikes, saying without knowing who is on board the boats, there's no way to verify intention or guilt. The UN has said the U.S. strikes are human rights violations.